Hello everyone. Today we will be talking about the network days formula. Have you found yourself looking at a calendar and counting the number of days to see how many available hours are in a given month? The network days formula is a quick and easy way to determine hours quickly while even factoring in holidays. This formula can be used to quickly review forecasted hours to determine if your project leads are estimating overtime, or in reviewing hours from resources in your cost center. If you are familiar with entering formulas, this one should be fairly easy. It should save you some time down the road, and you can also find some creative ways of using it once you know it. I am going to use two different reports during this tutorial. The first is a timesheet data report from the T-code CADO, C-A-D-O. If you're not familiar with this T-code, please refer to the job aid. The second is the manual T-code output from Comet Accessories package. The basic entry for network days is network days start date, end date, an optional holidays section, which will subtract out any days that you specify in a range. As always, Excel will help you out as you enter the formula in. You will need to enter dates in serial number format. To do this, you select the date, go into formatting, and choose General from the category. I will do the same for January 31st, 2013. To make things easier, you can also reference other cells with dates entered in them. As a quick example, we want to determine the number of working days in January. We could manually count them, but why count when Excel can do it for you? In cell D12, I will enter the network days formula, which is equals network days start date, end date, and close parentheses. That shows you that there are 23 working days in January. But we will go a little further, and we will add in Accenture holidays, which I have already listed from cell 18 to cell C25. And I will enter the formula in cell D14 equals network days start date, end date, and I will select all the holidays from cell C18 to cell C25, close parentheses. This shows 22 days, which is correct because January 1st is the official holiday, so that gives us 22 working days in January. Let's take this a step further. Here is a CADO timesheet pull for two individuals in Accenture. We want to determine if either one of them worked any overtime. I have already ran a SUMIF function to sum up their respective hours, and now I am going to use the network days formula to determine the number of hours they should have worked. Using this formula will give me total working days, and simply multiplying this by 8 will give us the hours. So equals network days start date, end date, select all the holidays which are in B13 to B21, close parentheses, but I will multiply that by 8. That gives us 76 hours. I will do the same formula in cell D7. Equals networking days start dates, end date, all the holidays, close parentheses, multiply by 8. As you can see, in April, there is max hours of 176. Pierre Natterme charged 176 hours, but Pam Craig charged 182 hours, which means she charged 6 hours of overtime. Now let's even go further. 1 month is easy enough to do. Where this formula really shines is analyzing several months of data. This example shows a time document that one might receive from a project lead. We want to quickly identify what months he is projecting overtime for the resources. Using our formula over the given range of dates, we can quickly calculate the number of working days and hours over the entire year. As you can see, I have already highlighted the cells that show overtime, but I will go ahead and calculate the max hours in the month to explain to you how I got that. So you will do network days, start date, comma, end date, comma, and choose all the holidays, close parentheses, and multiply by 8. As you can see, this is still in date format. And as I explained earlier, I will go ahead and change the formatting to general. This shows me there are 160 hours in June, but all these resources are projected to work 168, which means 8 hours of overtime for each resource. I will do the same for September. You have start date, comma, end date, comma, all the holidays, close parentheses, multiply by 8. Again, this is in date format, so to change this, I will change the format to general. This shows there are a max 160 working hours in September, but all the resources are projected to work 16 hours of overtime. I will do this for one more month. August 1st, August 31st, all Accenture holidays, close parentheses, multiply by 8, and change it to general formatting. As you can see here, half the resources will be doing normal working hours, but half of them are charging 10 hours of overtime. You will see that if we do this for each month, we will come up with these results, where it will show that November has overtime, and one resource in December has overtime also, and rest of the resources in the rest of the months are working the normal hours. You can go ahead and practice this on your own time. I hope this will save you some time down the road.